Okay, concurrent process. Uh, yeah, concurrent process is a two example here we are given. One is heartbeat monitoring system, another one is set-top box. So, heartbeat monitoring system, that heartbeat is a one process monitoring. Yeah, and then we have set-top boxes also. So, what is concurrent? Concurrent means it's a combine of two process and identically they have to work. For example, set-top box having sound process and picturing process. So these two process work concurrently. Then the picture you will see it's perfect. Otherwise, how it will be work. The each process works separately and works on independently, but they will share the data of each task. They will they will separate sequential program, but the process of each task will be they will communicate with each other. Because of that we can see the picture perfectly. In case of there is no communication or sharing the data between two process, then sound will be in one place and picture running in some other way. Then you can't watch that film or movie or program whatever it may be. Then the total program will be collapse. So concurrent process have the separate task running independently and they will program communicate with each other, then the program work properly. So concurrent process model implementation, there are three ways to implement the concurrent process model. It can use single or general purpose processor. The one is multiple processor each executing one process. That's the first implementation. You see the diagram, the figure A, multiple processor each executing one process. Processor A, processor B, and processor C, and processor D is a multiple process but executing one process. So they're having common communication bus. So general purpose processor that use programming language like C and compile the instruction of the processor, and expensive and most cases not necessary. The custom single purpose processor is more common. You know, it has many processor and it can executing single processing, and one general purpose processor running all the process. There is another concurrent implementation. One general purpose processor is there that will run all the process. So that the previous one there is four processor available and four process available. So each processor execute each one process. One processor execute one process. So it separately it will be works and they having communication bus uh, between all the process. And next one general purpose processor is there that will run all the process. Most of the process don't use 100% of processor time. and can share the process time, and still it can achieve necessary execution rates. Combination of A and B. So we saw A. So each process run each process. And second one processor run multi-process. And third one, combining of these two. So multi-process run on one general purpose process. Also the processor, while one or more processor run on one single purpose processor. So that here we consider say four processor, that only one processor, the process one, the processor A will be run the processor 1, and remaining process 2 and 3 4, that process run by general purpose process. So combination of these two is available in concurrent process model implementation. Object oriented model is used to fill the gap between problem and solution. It performs well in the solution situation where the system undergoing continuous design, adaptation, and maintenance. It identifies the objects in problem domain, classifying them in terms of data and behavior. This object-oriented model beneficial. These are the things following. It facilitates changes in the system at low cost. It promotes the reuse of components. It simplifies the problem of integrating components to configure large system. It simplifies the design of distributed system. So what are these are the elements of object oriented system? The one is objects, attributes, behavior, class, method, and message. So these are the element of object oriented system. An object is something that is exists within the problem domain. Can be identify the data. Attribute they desire the information about the object. And behavior is specify what object can do, and it defines the operation performed on object. And class is a behavior object with a similar meaning and purpose grouped together as class. Method they are nothing more than action than the object can perform. Message is function of procedure call from one object to another. The information sent to the object to trigger methods. Essentially, the message is function or procedure call from one object to another. So, approach, object-oriented approach. So, this is a difference. So, structured approach, top-down approach, object-oriented approach, bottom-to-up approach. Program is divided into number of sub-modules and functions, and here the program organized by having number of classes and objects. And here the functional call is used to software reuse is not possible, and object-oriented program the reusable is possible. And structured approach the program usability left until the end phases, the object-oriented program concurrently with other phases. The structured design is more suitable for offshoring, and object-oriented is more suitable in in-house development. Store clear transition from design for implementation of structured approach, and this one is suitable for design implementation. So in these projects, it's suitable for real-time system, embedded system, where objects are not most useful level of abstraction in structured approach. An object-oriented approach is suitable for most business application, game development projects, which expected customize are extended. And structured approach is a project managed essentially due to clarity, identifiable phases. An object-oriented approach, this project can be difficult to manage due to uncertain transition between phases. So this object-oriented system development life cycle, see the figure. So build the model analysis, implementation, design, then reuse of this. The iteration reuse is this object-oriented system development life cycle figure. So this object-oriented system development activities, the object-oriented analysis, design, prototyping, implementing, and incremental testing. The phase with determine the system requirement and understand the system requirement. So this is object-oriented analysis. And prototype implementation, it uses either component-based development or rapid application development. The testing part, the software development and all the activities include the testings or intensive process. Okay, thank you.